been made for educational purposes only. For educational purposes only. Any clippage of film which you see is not mine, but it's being used to illustrate points. Hi everyone, this is Al Adamar back with another video. Today I want to talk to you about this Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. I do not agree with that terminology. I think you could have found a better term to use in terms of Black Lives Matter. I do understand why you're using that term, but at the same time it gets a lot of people's backs up because all lives matter. I could kind of see what you're getting at because we are so disadvantaged, right? We tend to suffer so much more abuse in the system, right? Economically, we're at the bottom of the system and there's a lot of unfair treatment. So I can understand why you would want to use the term Black Lives Matter. But I think you could have found a better slogan, a better terminology. I want to come off of that anyway, because that's not the point of this video. The point of this video here is, why is it that you have certain people, they talk about Black Lives Matter, right? And you got organizers who've been taking that money that's been donated through other people and other charities who have put money into Black Lives Matter, and the organizers themselves, some of them have been dipping their hand into the pot, taking that money, okay, and spending it on themselves. Look at America. You've had Black Lives Matter organizers, and they've been using money to go and fund things for themselves, going and buying houses and mansions. And look at Bristol in the UK recently. You had a Black Lives Matter organizer, okay? Now on the eve of the 7th of the 6th, 2020, she made a public appeal in regards to Black Lives Matter on the TV. Then she's changed her name to Sandra Salim. Sandra Salim used the money, £32,000, 32k, okay, from 600 donators. 600 donators. What did she do with this money? She used the money for her own selfish needs, not for the needs of the young people in St. Paul's in Bristol who were disadvantaged. That money should have been going towards them. But no, it never went to them. I guarantee not even one single penny went towards any one of those young people in St. Paul's. The same thing with the Black Lives Matter in America. I would like to know, how much money did you use to actually help fund disadvantaged groups, disadvantaged people, help to try and build the community in America? You see, there are some people, they are devils. Yes, I just said it. They are devils. They are just there for their own selfish needs. Now, there's a page called GoFundMe. I believe that's correct. There's a page called GoFundMe. If you want to open up a charitable organization, you go to this page, GoFundMe. Anyway, this, okay, she had over £32,000 go towards Black Lives Matter, right? Now, this money was supposed to then go into some charitable fund called Changing Your Mindset. See, most of this money should have been going into changing your mindset to help children living in St. Paul's area of Bristol, as I say, in the UK. So what happened to this money? This Salim took the money and put it into her own account. Put the money into her own account. Why? How wicked, man. Took the money, right, which should have been going towards some of these children, and put the money in her own account. And then the money she used to spend on things like, check this out, man, buy new phones, buy new computers, hair, makeup, takeaways. Okay, she must have been buying a lot of takeaways with like £32,000. And check this out, £6,000 on Uber fares. Where was she going? £6,000 on Uber fares. That's a whole heap of money. Seriously, she could have gone from top of Scotland down to John O'Groats or wherever they call it. Come back up again. Probably still not spent £6,000 on Uber. No, what she was doing and where she's going, right? With that money, £6,000. You see, what I worry about now is because of this Black Lives Matter and what has happened with the money in America, and now in Bristol in the UK, people selfishly using the money for their own greeds, not for other people's needs. And I'll say it again, using the money for their own greeds and not for other people's needs. Then in the future, these organizations and the Black Lives Matter or whatever charitable black organizations, people might decide to stop using their money to help to fund these organizations because they think that this money is going to go elsewhere. It's going to go on a walkabout somewhere. And I could not blame people. I could not blame people for not wanting to donate any money towards charities like this if the money is being used and being misrepresented and going into the pockets of somebody else. And these people, tell me, you talk about Black Lives Matter. Where is your consciousness? You see how as a race, black people have suffered for so many years. Now, there's other people. It doesn't matter whether they were black, white, green, yellow, purple. They've all made a contribution towards helping Black Lives Matter. This money wasn't just coming from the black communities. It's coming from white communities, Asian communities, Italian communities. Yeah? So forth. And then you out there are the ones who will complain about how you're disadvantaged. But then, and I'm not talking about everyone, I'm talking about the people who are using this money and misusing this money. Why is it that you will go on these marches, you will make these appeals, but then the money goes into your pockets and not into the pockets to help those disadvantaged people? Where is your soul, man? Where is your love? Now, going back to Alexandra Salim. Check this out. This is what she had to say. Okay? Apparently she was on WhatsApp and she said to some of her friends this. Check this out. I've done something horrendous. I get really bad psychosis and I have some horrendous ideas, she said. Let's just say my brain spends it. Let's just say my brain spends it. On what or why, I cannot remember a thing. I am wondering whether she used that quote because she knew that she'd done something wrong and that if she went to court, she would be using psychosis as her defense. I'm wondering if that was why she made this quote to her friend. Listen, the Salim anyway, she ended up getting something like 2.5 years sentence for fraud. And the people whom this money should have gone to, this charitable organisation in St. Paul's, they welcomed the sentence. Now I've got this to say to Salim. I hope during your time in prison that you have time to reflect on the people that you've just hurt, on the people that you've just ripped off, on the community you could have served. I hope when you're trying to sleep at night that you reflect back on what you just done, how you defrauded people out their money and the community as well. And in America, I have this to say to you guys who have used the money and you've defrauded people out of their money. And you've not helped the communities which that money should have been going to. I hope you reflect on what you've done. And I hope you do not sleep well at night. I'm going to quickly show you a video now of Desandra Salim. And I just want to say this before I end this video. You need to seriously consider what you have just done. How you've just hurt your community. How you've made black people look in the eyes of some other people. And how in the future, when we try and get funding, if that funding does not come through, if these groups stop funding these organizations, you think about how you've hurt the black communities. Anyway, I want you to watch this video. This is Eldad Amara, over and out.
It was one of the defining moments of Bristol's recent past. But the protest that led to Colston's downfall presented one person with the opportunity to commit what a court heard was a deliberately deceptive crime. As a key organiser, Zahra Salim used the Black Lives Matter march to defraud innocent people of thousands of pounds and a charity of vital opportunities. Then named Yvonne Miner, she spoke to ITV News on the eve of the June the 7th event in 2020, which, despite lockdown restrictions, drew thousands of people to the city's streets.
We want you guys to come, we want you guys to be heard, we want it to be peaceful. We really feel like we could push our voices whilst being peaceful as well.
The court heard more than £32,000 from nearly 600 individual donations went to a GoFundMe page. Much of it was intended for the charity Changing Your Mindset, which was set up to help disadvantaged children from the St Paul's area of Bristol. As a director of that charity, Salim transferred the money into her own account, spending it on a new phone, computer, clothes, hair, makeup and takeaways. Nearly £6,000 went on Uber journeys. The court heard in WhatsApp messages to a friend, Salim confessed, "I've done something horrendous. I get really bad psychosis and I have some horrendous ideas," she said. "Let's just say my brain spends it. On what or why, I can't remember a thing." After sentence, representatives of Changing Your Mindset welcomed the sentence.
How could someone be so spiteful? Like, it's just, to me, it was the thing where she came and she offered her help to then rob us. And you could see that, obviously, everyone that was there, obviously, all vulnerable children, we were young. So for her to do something like that, and she was not really much far away from our age herself, is disgusting in my eyes.
Sentencing her to 2.5 years in prison, the judge told Salim her dishonesty continued for a long period and she had abused the trust and responsibility she'd once held.